In this video, we're going to have a look at how to set up and configure the MyITLab.com site. This will be the site that students are going to perform the majority of their online learning tasks and their assessments. That's the quizzes, the midterm, and the final exam. So this is a must or mandatory component of this course. So if you go through the course outline and you look at the bookstore, it will give you a link to the bookstore and to the learning resources, and that's really to the MyITLab. So to simplify this a little further, you can purchase this at the bookstore, but I would recommend that you purchase it after 2 weeks. They will give you 2 weeks for free. You can see if you like it. You want to drop the course, possibly. That happens sometimes. And that way you wouldn't have to spend any money up front. Also, the online course, I believe, is $99 US compared to the bookstore, which is $165 Canadian. So it's definitely quite a savings if you buy it online. All right, so to get started in the course outline, you'll also notice that it says MyITLab online course, and there's a particular code here called Caldwell 33391. That's my particular section online for your course. So if you click on this hyperlink, it'll open up the setup instructions that will show you the course. Now, I would recommend that you double click on the course code and copy that, as you'll need that to register. Now, to open this up, you can just simply follow the step-by-step instructions here, which is go to the Pearson MyITLab and register as a student. So let's go through that process right here. Click on it. And if you're already a Pearson lab person in the accounting program, you can sign in directly, or you can just create a new registration. So a lot of students are new registrations. I'll click on that. You will need 3 things. You will need an email address. I would recommend you use your personal email address if you want, but you don't have to. You can use your Douglas College email. But if you use your personal email, you'll be getting all the links to it. Now, keep in mind though, if you want to create multiple accounts like this, it will cause problems. So pick your email carefully. Now, the instructor code is that code I just showed you, that Caldwell 33391 code, and you'll need some form of payment. Now, you don't need to pay for the first 2 weeks, so that's a good part of this. Let's register and get started. Now, to get started, you're simply going to paste in that instructor code right here and click on continue. You have all 3 of these at your disposal. Now, you could sign in still at this point, or you could create a new account. So if I go in here and I create an account, it's going to ask me to fill all this information in, which I don't want to do during this video, but you're going to probably go through that process. And when you do, you're going to find down here, keep your eyes peeled for a link that says free 14-day trial, and definitely do that. Don't buy it all up front. Just try it out, and then within those 2 weeks, you can then go back and purchase it after that. So that is how you become connected to this site and into my class. And then when you sign in again, you will see that. Now, let me just show you what that looks like here. So let me just pause the video for a moment. I'll get set up. All right, so open up your browser. Chrome works well on this, and you can just go into the URL box and type in myitlab.com. I've chopped mine off on this video recording, so I'll just do it in a Google search, and it takes me right there anyways. So this is what the landing page of the MyITLab, and this is where you guys are going to do the majority of your work. Let's go in and sign in now. So now that you've created an account, you can sign in. So we'll sign into the account. And you guys won't be presented with all this because I'm an instructor. I get all these extra tabs. This is the one you have. You can see there, Caldwell 33391, CSIS 1190, Excel for Business for the summer 2021 course. Currently, there's nobody in it at the time of this recording, and I'm going to just click on, let's open it up. All right, when you open it up, again, your screen might look a little bit different than mine because I'm the instructor. So anything here with a lock on it, you probably won't see these, but you'll see getting started and notifications, etc. This is the landing page, and it's really important that you guys start off on the right foot with this. So I'm going to say under the setup MyITLab, if you click on this, double check you've got the correct operating system, the browser, if you're going to try mobile devices, etc. This will check all of your devices that you're working on and how well they function and perform. So definitely have a look at that. If you have performance issues with this tool, it's probably because you haven't gone through this utility. All right, let's go back. The other thing you can do is under the student user guide, this basically explains how this particular system works. So the MyITLab is a very powerful, very clever, interactive learning tool. It basically teaches you how to use Excel. So the way I'm going to run this course is that students are going to do the majority of their lab work. You can think of this as your labs for the course. will be done through here. The assessments will be done through here. But when it comes to the lectures, my portion of the course would be, I'll be paralleling the learning objectives for each chapter in videos that you guys can watch. And I give more practical examples for students to try it out. All right, going back to the landing page, you got the time zone. Make sure that you go in here and set this. Some students will be outside of Canada when they do this. So here in Vancouver, that's the time zones that all of our CGs are going to be designed for. And it should be set for -8 hours or GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time, which is Pacific Time in the United States and Canada. So it should say Tijuana here. I think that's because that's the most westerly city, I think. I'm not sure, but you guys could check that. But anyway, it's -8 hours Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you set that correctly. If you don't, your assessments will display in different time zones, and you will not be able to complete your quizzes, and your handing in your assignments could be late. So make sure you set that. So that's basically how you get this thing started. All right, the next part of the demo here will be to show you how the course can open and get started. And there's two ways you can look at this. One, you can go into the assignment calendar. This gives you sort of the calendar view of when things are scheduled. Now, everything in this course, if you look at the course outline, is broken down in individual weeks, and there's things that are set up. So when you click on the calendar here, you'll see that on Fridays, you'll see that there's a lot of things that are due. These are your assessments. Like I put down in the course outline, Fridays between 12:30 and 4:30 are going to be the quizzes. So these will be available at that time. So you'd have the first quiz that was posted on the course outline due at that time. And then you'll notice here on Sundays, there is the assignments that are due. So in May, there's only a couple that are, a few of them are due. And then you'll see here that the pattern starts to just repeat itself. For June, it repeats itself. For July, and then it kind of, we're starting a week later than we normally do, so we've kind of got to pack in a little more than we normally do. So this could change a little bit. This is, I think, the final exam I've got scheduled, but that's tentative right now because we don't have the final exam scheduled at this point. So this is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is your to-do list, or things that you need to complete. So if you select this one right here, it will go through. Let me just maximize that. And you'll see here in a moment. This MyITLab does kind of run slow. If you don't have like a 5G network, it's problematic. So what this does, it goes through sequentially when things are due. So May 21st before 4:30, that you have one attempt to do that quiz. So you can see it in this format as well. So that you've got the calendar view and you've got this view, and you can scroll down, and you'll notice that these are the assessments that we're looking at, right? Things that you need to complete for the course. The green one means, with the little finger, it's like a mouse clicking. It shows this is a simulated test. It means it's actually showing you not a multiple choice test, but it'll ask you a question and then it'll get you to do it on the computer, which is a very clear way of assessing student knowledge on a particular topic. Now, when you ever see this particular icon here, this means it's an assignment. It means they give you a list of things to do, you perform that list, and then you upload it for marks. So there's different types of assessment tools that I use. There's the interactive and the assignment. When it comes to the quizzes, they're all these interactives. When it comes to assignments, they're all this assignment format. Now, when it comes to the midterm you see is a little different color here. That's because this is a collective. So it means that there's an assignment for Word chapters 1, 2, and 3, and there's also a assignment for Excel chapters 1, 2, 3, 4. This reflects exactly what you have on the course outline. So that's what those are. So if we keep going down the list right here, and I'll hit more. I think I hit the more button. There we go. It just keeps going and going and going throughout the entire 10 chapters within the textbook, and right down to where we get to the final exam. The final exam is going to be a simulation. So the reason you're going to do simulations and assessments is because the midterm is going to be an assignment format and the final will be in an actual simulation format. All right, let's go back one page here. Let's go back another page. Now, when it comes to your grades, this system is extremely clear in how your grades are assessed. So what we can do here is I'm going to go back to the main menu and go down to grades, and you're going to have grades in custom view. You can try both of them. Under custom view though, it gives you a list of every assessment that I've posted. There it is, and what your grade is. So as it goes down, you can keep exact count of what you're doing. Now, if you go through this grades, you get the green simulation, and you get the assignment for all the assignments and quizzes. You get the midterm. There it is there again, duplicating that, and there's the final. You also get the blue. These blue are the simulations. They actually are a duplication of the quiz. This is like doing the quiz, but it gives you access to all the answers. So this encourages students to perform the simulation before doing the actual quiz. So for example, here is the simulation for Excel chapter 1. So if you do this one here, you can then do the Excel chapter 1 here, because they're the same learning objectives. Now the examples aren't the same, but they're very, very similar, so the knowledge should transfer. So you want to do all these blue ones as well. Now you're not given marks for these labs, but these are the labs to show you how to complete the quiz. So the way that I kind of run this course is that you will have a kind of a recorded lecture of me explaining the learning objectives. Then you've got the textbook to review the concepts. Then the third thing you'll have access to, the same learning objective, is the simulations right here. And then the last one is you've got a audio PowerPoint explaining as well. So you have actually 4 different ways to learn the learning objectives. Now some students, they don't do all 4. It's just if you want a really clear understanding of how that works. Once you've completed all, maybe 3 or 4 different ways of learning it, then you can challenge the quiz. Now some students, they don't do these and they just go in and challenge the quiz. That tends to be problematic, but you guys can try that out yourself. So this is how you can keep track of your marks. Now in another video, I will go through and show you how to do your feedback. So the feedback is when you perform an assignment and you can go through exactly what you did right and what you did wrong. And with assignments, as you've noted in the course outline, you're allowed to submit it twice. So I find with all of these assignments, well, you don't get to do the midterm twice, just once for the midterm. But all of these assignments you get to do twice. And the reason is that once you do the assignment, submit it, it will come back and tell you all the, if there was any errors and what those errors were. You can then correct the errors and submit it again for a higher mark. So I do that because I want students to go back and finish what they didn't do correctly. I want them to learn those things that they didn't do, fix it, and then resubmit it. So I find most students get like in the high 90s on their assignments because they're allowed to go back and fix it and resubmit it. Now, you don't get that opportunity with quizzes. You only have a one-time quiz. These quizzes are, by the way, are about 15 minutes and they're simulated. All right, so I hope that kind of gives a good introduction on how this MyITLab works so far. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the course materials. Now, course materials is kind of the index of this course. So if you guys open up course materials, it does take a bit of time to load this. Okay, here we go. And this is where everything can be found in a sequential order. So you can see at the top, help set up the course video. So if you click and open this one up here, you can go through sequentially and just watch, how to get orientated to MyITLab. So a lot of this will be repeated here, and how to use the calendar, which I just showed you how the calendar, or the course materials, which I'm showing you right now. Or the simulation activities, which I will show you in another video how to do simulation, and the grader activity, which I just showed you. So I kind of reviewed most of this right here in this video, but I would definitely encourage you guys, you can click that one to go back, to review those videos. Now, here is your e-textbooks. Now, there are 3 textbooks for this course. There's the operating system textbook, the Word textbook, and then the Excel textbook. So you open up one of these textbooks, you're going to be prompted with a, let me see here, you get this window here, and you got to click on this button. It's just a odd way that they do it. And this will bring up the electronic textbook, so you don't have to purchase the hard copy, because you don't want the hard copy anyways. Now, here's the textbook, and up in the upper left-hand corner is our menu, and you can go through, and here's, chapter 1. And there's chapter 1. You can change the fonts. You can put bookmarkers in it. There's all sorts of study aids and notes on here. You can go through, read the case description. And I will be going through a video presentation of some similarity to this particular one here, but the simulations in the MyITLab are also going to repeat a lot of this as well. So the first Excel chapter, I do a personal budget example where students have to do their own budgets. And yeah, all right, so that gives you an idea of how the e-textbook works. Okay, let's go back out of here. And let me just pause the video and I'll get set up again. All right, so that's where the e-textbook is. Let's go back to my course and let's have a look at week 1. So during the first week, you guys should go through all of these and also week 1. So here's week 1. Now these are all the learning objectives that you need to, or learning tasks that you have to do. So they have an audio PowerPoint presentation to go through. There's some Windows videos to go through. There's some data files to work with. Then you've got the simulations. Try these out because these right here will prepare you for the quiz. I've also put in a practice quiz here so you can see how practice quizzes work as well. And that's what you need to complete for the first week. At first it might seem like a lot, but once you get into it, start going through, it's pretty quick and easy. Now you get into week 2, that's our Word, chapters 1, 2, 3, and week 3, that's our Excel. I'll open up Excel here. That's week 3 here. You can see here that we've got Excel for the PowerPoint presentation. You got some Excel videos. You got the data files to work with. Now you have one simulation. You have a quiz from the previous week, and you have one assignment from the previous week as well. That's all that's due in that particular week. So the nice thing about how this course has been organized is that everything has been compartmentalized into weekly folders here, and we would just progress through until we complete the course. So that is the course materials and probably the last part I'll show you in this video. So stay tuned. I will get more videos on showing you how to use the simulations and how to do the feedback in a future video.